A very warm good morning to everyone. Today we have two speakers. First one, I introduce Advocate R.K. Kediaji, who is a HR professional with having more than 38 years of experience with expertise in the field of formulation and execution of HR policy and system across India. Currently, he is working head of the labor compliance in Intero Solution. And on other side, we have with us CA Kapil Goyalji, who is having more than 20 years of professional experience in his firm, including the multiple division of the MNC throughout the working in this compliance. I welcome both of you and directly hand over the mic to Mr. Kapil Goyalji to start his deliberation.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Arunji, Mohitji, and Chairman Sirs of Agra branch as well as Vapi branch. So I would like to tell you that today we are sitting at such a time where the HR issues have been cropped up to a greater extent, and all of us, whether we are managing clients, whether we are chartered accountants, whether we are lawyers, whether we are operational guys managing the companies, everywhere this HR issue has become so predominant, so that everywhere the whole industry is looking at CAs, all our CAs, to give our valuable advice during this pandemic. So today we are going to touch base upon all practical issues, and today's seminar will be more practical oriented and will take all possible frequently asked questions by the employees, by the clients of our esteemed clients, industries. And today we will discuss among ourselves as to the what best replies we need to give, and what best action we need to take. So during this pandemic, I would say that there are some positive developments also for our chartered accountants brothers. As you all know, that India will be among the top 2 or 3 countries in the world, which will be having a positive GDP growth in this year. Earlier, it was projected to be around 6.5%. Now, IMF has reduced it to 1.5%, around that level. So, this is the time where we all have to work together in collaboration, and to show the outside world that we chartered accountants are capable of taking over the best of the best companies in terms of financial advisory as well as HR advisory. Because labor compliances, as you all know, we have earlier done one seminar at the branch level, Gurgaon branch level also. So we got a very good response on our labor compliances matters. So I would like to thank you once again. And in today's seminar, we will try to be as practical in our approach, which would benefit the entire community. So I would not take much of your time, and we will start the webinar now. And I will ask and request Mr. Kedia to take the dais and start the deliberation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kapilji. Thanks for the introduction. Thanks for the organizers to invite us for this webinar today. And as you have rightly said, we are in a very peculiar situation where I think for the first time during our lifetime, or even in the lifetime of our parents and grandparents, this kind of opportunity would have come for the first time. Now, what exactly do we understand by lockdown? That is the basic idea. What is lockdown? We would have heard many things about other things: lockout, retrenchment, layoff, etc., curfew, and then let's say imposition of section 144 under IPC or section 144 in CRPC. What exactly do we mean by lockdown? So let us understand what lockdown is, and then we come to what issues we are facing as HR professionals or even as accounting professionals, and which are to be taken care of by us in the normal course of business. Lockdown, let us see what lockdown is. I'm repeating, it is not lockout, it is lockdown. And what do we understand by lockdown? Lockdown is an emergency measure or a condition in which people are temporarily prevented from entering or leaving a restricted area or building during a threat of danger. Now, this can be confined to a smaller place, or this can cover the entire geographical area, which has been done in our country, where our Honorable Prime Minister on 24th of March said that lockdown will be there in the entire country for a period of 21 days, and that got extended by another 19 days. So, total of 40 days in total. Now, having done that, what do we do under lockdown? How this lockdown came into picture? See, there is a act called Disaster Management Act that was passed in 2005, which carried forward some of the provisions of Epidemic Diseases Act 1897. Now, please try to understand, the earlier act was formulated in 1897, and after a lapse of almost 108 years, we have Disaster Management Act, which carries some of the provisions of Epidemic Diseases Act. It is out of these two, that is Epidemic Diseases Act and Disaster Management Act, that the central government has gone ahead and given certain guidelines or certain instructions or certain advisories that have been issued for the entire country. If at all you have had a chance of going through the advisories or the circulars issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs, you will come and see that in none of the advisories or in none of the instructions they have ever referred to the employer-employee relationship. It is a general advisory, but thereafter they have clarified what will apply to whom and how it will apply. So the directions have been given with the objective of curtailing the spread of disaster or epidemic, and therefore the directions which have been given to stop the after effects of disaster or ongoing effects of disaster and epidemic, they are binding not only on the individuals but all the entities that are existing in the country. Having taken care of this lockdown, let me briefly reflect upon what is curfew. In curfew, what happens is people are instructed to stay inside, and this is what certain states did. They imposed curfew and forced the people to stay inside when the essential services are also shut down. And whereas in the case of lockdown, what happens is the restrictions are there. Restrictions are more on assembly because you know the epidemic or the pandemic which is there, that can go, that is contagious, and therefore to remove that contagious factor, it is seen that essential services are only made available and people are allowed to roam around or allowed to move around, but not in batches. Here and there, one or two persons for the purpose of availing essential services, they can go. So in lockdown, while no pass otherwise is required, but keeping in view the pandemic, what has been done is the government has said that we will issue a pass and there will be not many exemptions, and mass gathering is prevented, and the violation can lead to legal action. That of course we will come in the subsequent slides which are there. So having understood the concept of lockdown, now what exactly are we supposed to do in the lockdown, that let us understand, because thereafter we will get into the legal provisions as well, what exactly is to be done, what not to be done, and what are the orders that have been issued by the various the state governments and the central government. So while we will be sharing the slideshow, the PPTs with you, there will be no problem. Let me get on to with the content and explain it to you. The first slide which we have, in that we have given the various orders that have been issued by either by ESI or the Provident Fund or the Ministry of Labour and Employment or the Ministry of Home Affairs. Now I'll take one by one. In the case of ESI, the ESI Corporation, initially they said that a period of 30 days would be allowed as grace period for making the contributions under ESI. Subsequently, it has been made to 15th of May for the contribution which was falling due for the month of February. That is, what was to be paid on 15th of March in respect of wage month February, that has been allowed to be paid up to 15th of May. And for the month of March, what was to be paid on or by 15th of April, that can also be paid up to 15th of May. This is what the benefit or the relaxation that has been given by ESI. In respect of Provident Fund, only in respect of the payment which was to be made for the wage month March, they have allowed the payment to be made by May 2020. That is, the contribution which was to be paid by April 2020, that can be paid up to May 2020. To obviate the difficulties which are being faced by the employees or the employers in turn, the Provident Fund authorities have also given certain benefits by way of allowing refundable, non-refundable advance to be taken by the employees for next 3 months for those establishments that have up to 100 employees and 90% of whom they earn under rupees 15,000 as monthly wage. Now, this of course relaxation is there, but the reaction which I have been having with most of the clients and most of the other participants who are there, most of the other entities who are there, they have not found it to be of much use. And let us see if there any further relaxation would be there. So these are the things which Provident Fund authorities have done for the benefit of the employees. But now coming to the employers part, in case of the employers, while even before the lockdown came into picture, many of the state governments, they had gone ahead with their own notifications. For example, in Delhi, the government of NCT of Delhi had already closed down the establishments from somewhere near 19th of March and saying that all the establishments of specified nature, they would be closed down up to 31st of March. But before the conclusion of that period of 31st March 2020 came the order from the Ministry of Home Affairs, which was under the Disaster Management Act, which superseded, I repeat the word, it superseded all other laws which were applicable in the country, so as to meet the contingencies that were being faced by the country due to this pandemic of COVID-19. Now, when these directions were issued, you will have to go through the Disaster Management Act, and Section 72 of that Act says the provisions of this Act. Please try to understand so that it will be very clear when you are putting up the questions for being answered. The Section 72 of this Act says the provisions of this Act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in any other law. Mark my words, it is in any other law for the time being in force or in any instrument having effect by virtue of any law other than this Act. If you read it plainly and simply, please try to understand that this Section 72 is prevailing or taking precedence on all other provisions of all other acts that are applicable to the country, particularly in the area of labor laws, because it is the human being which is getting affected by this pandemic, and therefore anything which has been prescribed under the law anywhere, whether it is the service law of any state or the central laws which are applicable to the labor, they all have been superseded by this Section 72. And under this, the first order that was issued after the announcement made by the Honorable Prime Minister on 24th of March is the first order that was issued on 25th of March, followed by 27th March order. Thereafter, an order was issued on 29th March that was followed by orders on 2nd of April, 4th of April, 10th of April, 14th of April, and 15th of April. Now, we will restrict our discussion only to 29th March circular for the present discussion. the 29th March circular that said that you the no the employer, will have to, whatever be the type of establishment, they will have to pay the wages. They will have to pay the wages without any deduction on due date to all the employees. And therefore, even if the business is not being able to run, you will have to pay the salary or wages. Of course, by virtue of, because after 29th March, the salary was payable for the wage month of 31st March, people, by some way or the other, they were able to pay. Many of them have even not paid, because if you would have read the various paper cuttings which are there, many of the organizations have not paid the wages or salaries even for the month of March. So what to talk of the period which will fall as lockdown period in the month of April. But then that was the guideline, and if you are not abiding by it, then the legal consequences will follow. So and subsequently, what has been done, what order we were speaking about, the lockdown period on 14th of April has been extended up to 3rd of May, that is for 19 days more subsequent to 14th of April. So total of 40 days of lockdown period is there. Now,